Lighting for Profits, the #1 landscape lighting show in the world. Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
I have no idea what's going on, guys. This could be a major fiasco.
To Lighting for Profits, your #1 source for all things landscape lighting. Powered by Emery Allen. From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing.
And almost like, okay, is this where I get beat up in front of my friends? Like, what's going to happen?
We discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
That's what I like.
Now, here is your host, Ryan Lee.
What is up? What is up? Welcome to Lighting for Profits. So excited to be here. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, I'm truly honored and grateful and humbled that I get to do this every single week, except for last week. I was out of town, hanging out with the family in Florida last week. Got to go to Universal Studios and the beach, and just a great way to kick off the summer. So decided to take the week off from the podcast as well, but I'm excited to be back. Guys, we're going to have an awesome show today. We got the team. We got more than one guest today. We got 3 guests. We got the team at Wholesale Holiday Lighting by Giannini. Grant Fields, Angelo Leo, and Mike Kaplan going to be joining us just in a few minutes. And this is not going to be one that you're going to want to miss. They're already giving me a hard time behind the scenes in the studio when we were talking before. So it's going to be a good one. I told them, they're from New York. So I told them, we got to keep this PG-13, maybe slight R, but I'm really nervous. This thing could get out of hand quick. So don't miss out on these guys. I want to thank Emery Allen for their partnership, for their support. And guys, you know that a fixture is only as good as the source of light inside it, right? And so this light source is what your customers and future customers will ultimately see at night and will result in thousands of dollars in return business for you, along with glowing referrals. So it's so important to get the right light bulb, right? Emery Allen believes every lighting professional should have access to light source engineered from the ground up, dedicated to high performance when you need it most. At the end of the day, it's what's on the inside that counts. Take advantage of Emery Allen's world-class customer service and 10% off your first order for new clients. All you have to do is email tomg@emeryallen.com for more info. Remember, they do offer discounted contractor pricing. So I used to tell people to go to their website. Don't go to their website. Go email tomg@emeryallen.com and get your account set up today. Don't forget to mention Lighting for Profits and get 10% off your first order. And guys, I'm telling you, there's not a nicer guy out there than Tom. He's so nice that I tell him, Tom, you need help with sales. And so I'm trying to help him out with sales. Okay. Sometimes being the nice guy doesn't work in sales. You have to be aggressive, right? So Tom is like too nice. So I'll be the aggressor. Go email tomg@emeryallen.com. Now, before we have our guests on with Wholesale Holiday Lighting by Giannini, I want to talk about something real quick that came up in the Facebook group, Landscape Lighting Mastermind. It's a free group. If you're not a member of it, you should join it. Ask questions. The more questions you ask, the more answers you get, right? And someone asked a question the other day that I thought was awesome and totally appropriate for this show. So I wanted to review what the question was and what some of the responses were, and then go over what I thought. So the question was awesome. It says, what do you do when you get overwhelmed with the growth of your business? And I thought this was awesome because it shows vulnerability. It shows that this person is willing to learn, willing to reach out for help. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to grow your business and become a better person, a better leader, is asking questions like this. So some of the responses were, 1, raise your prices for jobs you know are larger projects and be honest with them about lead times. Have a nervous breakdown and call it a day. Just kidding, kind of. So that's what most of us do, I think. That was a good answer. Start replacing one of your hats you're wearing. What are you the worst at? Paperwork, bookkeeping. Try filling that position. If you are that swamped, raise your prices. Sounds like some people have been listening to Lighting for Profits. Turn my phone off. Hire a coach. Actually, they said hire Ryan Lee, but I was trying to keep it generic. But if you don't hire me, hire somebody. Get a coach for real. Charge more. Sleep less. Party more. Not sure about that one, Greg. Work hard. Play harder. I thank my lucky stars. That's a good one. If we're feeling overwhelmed with the growth of our business, then maybe we should be grateful for it. But at the same time, there's things that we can do to not feel overwhelmed, which I'll go over. Take a day off and listen to Ryan Lee. I like that one. Read E-Myth. Like that one. Listen to the Profitable Trading podcast. I mean, I think I like that one. I've never listened to it, but if it means you're not going to listen to this podcast, I don't like that one. But you could do both. Try to find areas to delegate. Sometimes that's the hardest part. Just take a step back and look at the big picture and find areas you can ask for help in. Or as Ryan Lee says, replace yourself, which that is the key, right? If you're feeling overwhelmed, you got to replace yourself. But the thing is, replacing yourself is way harder than it sounds. You know, it's like, oh, just hire your replacement. And that's not always easy to do. And so I want to talk about that. And really what we're talking about, if we're feeling overwhelmed, which by the way, guys, I confessed a few weeks ago, I'm feeling overwhelmed in my business. And I had the revelation that was like, man, I need to hire somebody. I've already hired 2 coaches. I've got a couple assistants, but I'm going to be really being proactive here in the coming weeks to hire and it might take a couple months. I don't know how long it'll take, but I want to hire an operations manager. I want to hire an integrator. I need to hire someone that could do the things that I'm not as good at. And so when we're talking about feeling overwhelmed, we're talking about time management. So I came across this quote the other day, which I thought was magical. If you really want to do something, you will find a way to do it. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Doesn't that describe most of us? Like most of us are finding an excuse because we don't really want to do it, right? And I've got, I guess, one question for you that leads into 2 or 3. But are you busy or are you productive? Are you busy or are you productive? And do you know the difference? Do you know the difference between being busy and being productive? So one of, I can't even remember which coach I got this from, but it was one of my coaches was talking about, you know, one of the things I teach in sales is offering I don't call it a good, better, best because that's not really what it is. It's a triple option close is what it is, where you give the client 3 options to choose from. And there's a lot of reasons why it's not a good, better, best. But this coach explained that you need to do good, better, and best with your time. And I'll give you an example. So most of us have found, if you've owned your business for any time over probably a year, you've found that it's way easier to just keep putting out fires than to stop, build a process that will prevent fires from happening in the future. Right. And so we just keep doing the same thing. We're just putting out fires all day long because we think it's easier to just do that than stop and train and build a process to eliminate the fire from happening in the first place. And so he said his example of like good, better, best with your time. It's good to resolve a conflict with a client or maybe between team members, right? But wouldn't it be best to spend time building a procedure to prevent the future conflict? And it's hard to do that because we're so busy and we feel overwhelmed in growing our business that we feel like we don't have time. But that's honestly just a lie. We have the time. We just don't choose to do it. And instead we make excuses. And so I want to challenge you guys today to not just work to work, right? Like don't let the business run you. You are ultimately the owner, right? There's only one person in charge of this vessel that you're steering, and it's you. What's up, Tom? What's up, Nolan? Glad you guys are here. Appreciate it. So take me up on this challenge. I would love for you guys to do this and report back and let me know how it went for you. So here's the challenge. Write down what you really want in life. Like, why are you working? Literally write this down. Why are you working? Why do you put so much effort into what you do? Like you have this business that you're literally putting in your blood, sweat, and tears. Why are you doing all this? Where do you want to be? What does your dream life look like? What do you want to accomplish? What activities do you want to do? Where do you want to be with your family? What material purchases do you want to do? Because there's a reason that you're working so hard. I don't know what that is. Only you know. But make a list of these things and really draw out your dream life. Like, you should already be. Like you've been working hard. You should have already been there, but you're not. Right. And this is going to break it down so simple. And most people aren't going to do it because it seems too simple. But I promise you, if you do this exercise, this activity, you're going to have a breakthrough. You're going to find clarity in your business and you're not going to be as overwhelmed because you're actually going to move from being busy to productive. So, write out this dream life. And then I want you to make a list of the reasons you are not there yet. Right? I mean, it sounds simple, but because it is. So what are the reasons you're not there yet? And this is really just an activity to identify your problems. And then you just choose one. Just choose one thing and start there. So when you do this, the feeling of being, you'll find that the feeling of being productive versus busy is so feeling. It's so fulfilling. I'm sorry. Like when you are busy, it's not that awesome. I mean, at first it feels good because we don't feel like we're lazy, but honestly, you're not getting much done and you're just constantly putting out fires instead of preventing them from happening in the first place. So when you can change your habits to make you productive versus busy, you'll feel happier, you'll feel better, you'll get more done because you're focusing on things that actually matter, right? So then here's the key. This is the key, because if you can do that first activity and write down your dream life, everything you want, everything, like if I could get to this point, this is finally going to be it, right? And then reverse engineer that and list all the reasons why you're not there yet. Then you can start to solve one problem at a time. But some people do that and they still get stuck. And here's why, is because they say they don't have time. So I'm going to teach you right now how to create time. First of all, you can't let the business run you. You've got to run it, which means you have to select a time each week that you're going to work on your business. And at first, you don't have the time. Like you probably already have your schedule booked out at least a week, if not 2 or 3, whatever it is. If you're booked out 3 weeks and your calendar is full, then don't start with tomorrow. Start with 3 weeks from now, but put it on your calendar as 1 hour of time. And this is sacred time. So let me ask you guys this question. If you were to get a lead today, right? Let's say you got a lead and you looked it up online. You're like, holy cow, this is going to be like $100,000 project or a $500,000 project. And they said, I need you there this Thursday at 4:00. I'm pretty sure almost all of us would move everything around in our lives to be at that appointment this Thursday at 4:00. We'd probably cancel everything, including some personal family stuff, whatever. Am I right? So that's like that's what gets us excited, right? Is big sales, right? So, but I want you to adopt that same attitude with this work on your business time. That's how important this time is. And start with 1 hour, because 1 hour is going to be a lot easier for you to understand and to mark off on your calendar. If you say, well, I'm going to schedule every Thursday, the whole day to work on my business, it's going to get overwhelming and you're probably not going to do it. Even though eventually you want to get to that point, just start with 1 hour. And start with 1 hour. Then after a while, go to 2 hours, then go to 3, and keep raising it as you go. Get specific with your time. Be purposeful with your time, and you'll see exactly how much time you've been wasting being busy versus productive. This right here, guys, is the key. This is the only way to take control of your business. And it's hard to do, because what's going to happen is you're going to schedule Thursday at 4:00, and then you're going to get a call. And this is when you grow hair on your chest, right? This is when you decide how all in you are as an entrepreneur. Like if you get a call and someone needs a fire to be put out, are you going to stick to your guns and say, nope, I'm not answering my phone. It's 4:00 on Thursday. I told everybody I'm working on my business. Or are you going to go put out that fire? Or are you going to take that sales call for that $500,000 job? Or are you going to make an excuse and go do something else? Because if you can stay disciplined to this and expand on it to where you now have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 hours a week working on your business, wow, this is when the magic happens. Because just a few weeks later that will go by, you're now accomplishing tasks that took you years before because you never dedicated the time, right? And so it really doesn't matter what level you are, whether you're just a one-man show or you've already got an installation team or you've got a salesperson. It doesn't matter. Even if it's just you need to prioritize your time and take back your life. Okay. You started this business for freedom, and now you're trapped and you can't escape. And it's like the exact opposite. So this right here is the escape plan. I'm giving you the key. Now it's time for you to take it and make a run for it, or just stay in that prison cell. So that's my advice. That's my challenge for you guys today, is if you really do want that freedom, if you do want these things, you've got to dedicate time to work on your business. And this is the only way. This is the only way it's going to happen. And sure, you can keep making excuses and say, I'm too busy, which I'll let that excuse slide for the next few weeks, because you probably are too busy. You probably have those things already scheduled in. But I'm telling you, schedule it in for your next available thing, whether it's 1 week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, doesn't matter. And then every day at that time, you tell people, like, listen, if the phone rings, I'm going to assume that you just cut your arm off and we're going to have to go to the emergency room. Like, it better be that serious, you know? And you have to tell your spouse this, you have to tell your kids, you have to tell everybody, because they are going to try to bring you down too. Like, the world is totally against you when you do this stuff. They'll call them like, so what do you want to have for dinner? It's like, I told you your arm better be cut off. Who's cutting your arm off right now? So get serious, get specific and purposeful with your time. Hopefully that will help you guys out. I know it will, but it's up to you now to execute and implement. So, all right, guys, it's about that time to welcome our guests. It's been a couple weeks since I found the buttons to push the buttons. So let's figure this out. We'll get these guys coming on. There we go. All right, are you guys ready? I am. Figure this out. Where are they at? There they are. What's up, guys?
What's up? How we doing?
How you doing?
Man, thanks so much for being here. I'm excited to have a conversation with the boys from New York.
Are masks required?
Oh my gosh, hold on. I got to make this screen bigger. You guys are so good. Yeah, they are required.
Okay.
This is no, they're not required. Take them off.
Oh, okay.
No wonder.
What about the hat?
You guys got hard hats?
Yes.
This isn't OSHA checking on you.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome. I seriously had to make my screen bigger because I got all these different things lined up. I'm like, I thought we were playing with the lighting, guys. You look terrible.
It's the plumbers.
Yeah. Now, we were adjusting the lighting earlier, and then I was like, man, they look more red than they did earlier. So, all right. Joining me today is Grant Fields, Angelo Paleo, and Mike Kaplan. Let me just read your bio real quick, and then we'll get into it. You guys had a great bio, but it was like 14 minutes long, so I had to,
That's all great.
I had to revise it. So, Holiday Lighting by Giannini is one of the largest holiday lighting distributors in the northeastern United States. In months past, Holiday Lighting by Giannini became a distributor of nighttime decor, a landscape lighting line offered by the Decor Group. Both Angelo and Grant are extremely passionate about holiday lighting and year-round lighting. Not a holiday passes where there is not a lighting display set up at Angelo's house. In addition to the passion that comes along with holiday lighting, Grant and Angelo love to help small businesses in their paths to optimal growth and expansion. As a business owner, Mike is passionate about setting goals and catapulting his company into future success. In addition, he takes a great deal of pride in helping to ensure his team is fully supported and continues to grow with him and his company. So thanks so much for being here, guys. Before we get started, I want to get this straight. We basically are going to have this conversation. We've got 2.5 Jewish people and 1 Mormon about. Is that right?
You got that right.
All right, so we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty sure I can't offend you guys, but I'll try. So, explain to me, like, when I was, because I am Christian, I used to always be like, no, it's not holiday lighting, it's Christmas lighting. But now, as I've been in the industry longer, like, it's not really so much about whether I want to call it Christmas lighting or holiday lighting. I've seen how it really is holiday lighting. It's not just a one holiday throughout the year. Like, contractors can be setting up different lights for all different sorts of holidays. How do you guys support others in making it a year-round holiday, truly holiday lighting business?
Sure. So we offer a bunch of different holiday lighting decor, and through that stuff, we try and push people to make it, their main year-round business, offer different things for different holidays, tell your customers, hey, we don't only do Christmas lights, we offer Valentine's Day lights, 4th of July lights, St. Patrick's Day lights, Easter lights, and Halloween lighting. And, a bunch of companies have really started to push that more. And, we've seen over the years the number of houses that get done for other holidays around Christmas time grow significantly. I mean, people are doing Hanukkah houses where we're selling out of Hanukkah products before Christmas products now. And so we're out with it.
Pretty awesome.
Sports as well. You have the Rangers right now. You have a lot of people asking for the, the blue and white. Last year, the Rangers, the orange and blue. That's big around here.
So what do you guys do? Like, I feel like and I was in Dallas, obviously, but I didn't have anyone really promoting any vendors telling me like, hey, you should be doing this stuff. Are you guys just educating your clients on that they should be educating the homeowners? Because it never crossed my mind. I just thought holiday lighting was Christmas lighting.
It's such a diverse area that we live in, and there's so many different holidays, and there's so many different decorators now that they're starting to get asked, and that's where we come in.
We
Yeah,
also
cool.
make sure to add something into, our Christmas catalogs, all of our flyers, promoting the other holidays. Like, by the way, look at our, Halloween catalog that just came out, or look at our year-round displays that we have in stock. So we try to push it to our customers, and of course they're going to want to sell it because they want to make money. So they're going to go ahead and push it to the end users.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, these contractors they're sitting on a gold mine. They have, with Christmas lights, you guys know the demand is sick. It's insane. It's like it's real easy to get clients, but then they've already got the relationship. They like them. They trust them. A phone call, an email, a text to say, hey, you want to change your lights for this Easter or whatever it is. They're sitting on a gold mine, and most people aren't taking advantage of it.
Exactly.
So what we do as distributors to help with that too is we'll go ahead and make like a generic catalog or a generic flyer, and then we'll have our customers say, hey, let's throw your logo on this. That way you have something professionally made that you can just blast out to your customers.
Nice.
Instead of you just sending out a text message, hey, we got Halloween lights, you're just sending them a Halloween catalog that you spent about 5 minutes making because all you had to do is send us your logo.
Nice. That's cool. So, Mike, when did you how long have you been in the holiday lighting industry? How'd you get in? How'd you get your start?
When I started working here, the old owner came up. He's like, "Oh, we do Christmas lighting," and I laughed at him. I didn't know anything about Christmas, nothing. And we were probably doing 10 to 15 houses when I first started here, and I wanted more money, like every other employee does at the time. And he said, "All right, well, take it and run with it." He's like, "I'll give you, X amount of dollars for whatever you sell." And we just sold it. We went from 15 houses to 30 houses the next year to 50 to, over 300 right now.
That's awesome. So how did you go from being an employee to the owner?
That happened about 3 years ago. The owner just decided that it was time for him to retire. And basically I was running the company for the 5 years before that. And we came up with a deal and worked it out. Nothing really changed. I was running it pretty much before that. Just gives us a little more freedom to blow up the wholesale end. He was a little tough with it because he didn't understand Christmas because he wasn't involved in it.
Yeah, the thing I think is cool is just to see your path, how you started. I don't know if you started at the bottom, but you started as an employee, and so I'm always talking about replacing yourself. The owner basically did that. You were running the show, you weren't the owner, but basically did that. So it's cool to actually see it happening, and now you've been running the show. Well, you've been running it for longer, but it's actually your business the last few years.
But just the growth in the Christmas end, far exceeds any growth in any other business that I've been involved in. Regular business, you're happy if you're doing 3-5% a year. The Christmas is double digits every year.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I've got clients that absolutely love you guys. So what is it? I mean, you guys, what are you guys doing to set yourselves apart?
The three amigos.
Yeah, the three best friends. We provide the service. The guys come down here. We have a good old time when they come down here. We're always available on the phone, text. A lot of the other companies, you can't text them. Everybody plays with text now. We're here until 10 o'clock at night. We help them out with the training. We don't charge for training. A lot of the other companies out there, all the different models, they charge you for the training, they charge you for all that stuff. We don't do that. We just ask the guys to be as loyal as they can when buying the product.
That's awesome. I mean, I haven't been around you guys much, but when I have been, it seems like you guys have stellar relationships with people. It is like you guys are just buddies hanging out. And that's how it should be. Even when we're selling to homeowners, if you can get to that level, I mean, of course, you want to, if you're going to buy product, you might as well buy from somebody you like and you want to support.
It's a personal level.
So let's talk about some of the training. I know recently you guys have gotten into landscape lighting. You've been in the holiday lighting game for a while now, but what types of training things are you guys doing throughout the year? Is it in person? Is it Zoom? Like what types of things do you guys offer?
I personally hate Zoom. It's probably the first time I've ever done something like this.
And the last.
Well, maybe, yeah. Maybe on
See
your
how this
part.
goes.
Yeah. Every time I've done something on Zoom or remotely, it's always failed. Signing contracts with other vendors, we had an app made. It was just a complete failure. I think having that personal relationship face to face goes a long way. I mean, obviously, in something like this, it's hard to do face to face because.
Yeah.
As far as the training goes, Grant pretty much does a lot of the training, both Grant and Angelo. So
it started out in Christmas with the training where when Grant joined on with us, we started kind of lending him out to the newer customers where he would go out for 4 or 5 hours and show them the basics on Christmas. And that's kind of, where we always wanted to touch landscape lighting. And then once we did, we had a whole class here on estimating, a whole indoor class here on estimating and, the product and all that. And then we went out and, did a live install and, Grant helped teach that a lot. And
so a big
That's
thing
awesome.
that you were saying with making things
Most of it's
personal,
hands-on. Like you'll be out at their job site with their crews, training them there.
it makes it personal and it helps them grow. If I can bring anyone to a house that we've done before and say, okay, let's put up lights, but they're not going to learn unless it's something new to them. If I bring them to a house that we might be doing, it might be completely demographic than what they're doing. Long Island is such a different demographic. You could drive 5 miles to go from mansions to little apartments. So you really got to bring it to where they are and where they're working.
Yeah, that's very cool. So
it creates that personal touch, where a lot of the big box stores won't do that. And like Mike said, they will charge you to come out and, help you, with an install or whatnot.
I know for myself, I mean, if I sit in a class, I fall asleep. I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen me fall asleep at these conventions. It just bores me. I'm a hands-on type of guy. Take me outside, show me what to do. There's only so much you can learn on a computer or, even talking on the phone with somebody. Some of the basics.
I think we're all that way. We all learn, if you give us the product in our hands, we'll learn it a lot quicker than if you try and make us read a presentation or an instruction manual on it. That's all how we are. So we just teach the way that we learn best.
Yeah. Well, Mike, one thing that I picked up quickly with you was that you're really good at delegating. How hard is that to let go? Like, how hard is that to be like, you know what, Grant, I don't think you know what you're doing, but here you go.
Part of the whole issue with, when the old owner was here is he had a real hard time letting go. So I kind of remind myself not to do that, but it's hard. But when you find somebody qualified, you let them do it. So when you can find somebody for that, let me know and I'll hire them.
Well, for those of you that are watching or listening, Mike tried to delegate Grant and Angela to just come do the show. I was like,
I did.
No, Mike, you're coming on the show. And he's like, yeah, they'll be there. It's like, no, you can't delegate this.
He had to text my wife to try to get a bio.
It took her 3 days to respond with it. That's why we didn't get it to you on time.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you've done a good job. It is hard to let go. But I think you're seeing the fruits of it. You got Grant and Angelo that are out there killing it. And honestly, as you've seen, like that's better than if you put all that weight on your own shoulders. You couldn't be as friendly to everybody as you would want to be or as good as you'd want to be and all that. So well done.
You have to know your strengths and weaknesses. I mean, I know my strengths is in operations, ordering, purchase orders and that stuff. It's not sales. I don't have the patience anymore. I have the patience for the old time guys that deal with me, but the new guys, I just don't have the patience anymore to do it. And these guys do. It's strengths and weaknesses. You do what you do. Well, half the time that during the Christmas lights, I'm unloading trucks with the forklift, and they're in here selling.
He's just our helper with his hood up. Nobody asks him any questions. He puts our material away for us, and he goes back upstairs and writes checks for us.
That's awesome. Just keep him doing that. Keep him happy.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go. Let's switch to Grant a little bit. Grant, what is your title? What is your role there at Giannini?
Well, Grant was hired as a mechanic.
Okay.
And
he's a mechanic that goes out and trains.
he's a mechanic that does pretty much everything with Christmas and
mechanic that doesn't do much mechanic anymore.
He was hired right before COVID, into COVID, and it just turned out to be he was better at doing the Christmas lights. Not better, but more needed in the Christmas and the low voltage end, and operational end of the rest of the company, delivering mulch, picking up plants. I mean, we all do whatever we have to do around here. We go from Christmas to delivering mulch, back to Christmas, to unloading the tractor trailer of plants that we all did this morning.
So when you go, like Grant, when you go out and do these trainings, or maybe it's just when people are coming in and buying product and you're picking their brain, what's the biggest challenge that your clients are facing right now?
My biggest thing is I've never owned a holiday lighting business or a landscape lighting business. So when you're asking me questions about like how to set up your business side of things, I'm willing to help you with whatever I can. I just don't have the knowledge on that. So I'd say the biggest struggle for me is, the actual running of a business side, because I've watched this business run. I've watched other businesses I've worked for run. I can tell you how they run. I just can't tell you like the paperwork, administrative end of it. So that's the biggest challenge for me.
Gotcha. So you get them all trained and everything, and then they're like, oh, okay, this is good. I just asked Grant a question. He gives me an answer.
Yeah.
Like, I'll ask him the next one. And then you're like, well, actually, I don't know this one.
Yeah. What insurance do I need for my holiday lighting business? How do I set it up for like
That's all
tax
Mike.
purposes? How do I separate it from my regular business because it makes too much money, because Grant's too good at training us? Things like that is, my weaknesses.
Gotcha. So then Mike has to work those days?
Yes.
Yeah.
I get off the forklift and I come in and talk to them. Yes.
All right, cool. Angelo, what is your title / role?
Like Mike said, we all wear many hats here. I came from a landscape background. I worked for a distribution place and came here just working everywhere, mostly sales now. It's kind of transitioned over the last couple of years. Grant goes out and trains them. I help him with all the sales. Grant does as well. Mike does as well. But like Mike said, we all wear many hats here.
What sort of things are you doing like right now throughout the year when it's not like busy season to help these contractors out?
We're just always staying in contact with everybody. All throughout the year, there's so many guys now that, we created a Facebook group page. We created a text group for everybody to keep in contact with them. And the landscape lighting is starting to blow up now. So we're starting to see these guys, not just for Christmas anymore. It's everything.
And a good thing about the trainings we offer in-house when we do an actual class, or we have our open house that we have a couple times a year, is these contractors get to meet each other and they work together now. People who would have been quote unquote competition in the past, they're now working together because we introduce them to each other in a friendly manner, not, oh, who's that guy that's bidding against me on this job? It's, oh, I know that guy, let me talk to him and see what he's thinking about that job I'm going to go bid on.
That's cool.
They'll show numbers with each other to work with, certain people in certain areas, but they do work well, like you said.
Cool. So you mentioned the landscape lighting. It's fairly new. Why did you guys decide to get into the landscape lighting distribution?
It's something that we've always wanted to do, but before Grant was here, we really couldn't, not to say handle it, but, we needed that third person to really take over with it. And Grant was really that person. Grant went down and, trained with it. I had some knowledge with it being from where I came from. But yeah.
A lot of these guys just get frustrated dealing with the bigger stores, the site ones, the heritages of the group, because there's different people working there all the time. Sometimes it's hard to get the stuff. And these guys are so used to just texting one person and dealing with them that's what they'd rather do.
They get an answer from us within minutes. A lot of these customers will have a group text with each one of us, we will have a group text with each one of these customers. So, one of us three will answer them back pretty quickly.
10:30 at night when you have a problem with an RGB bulb not working in your landscape lighting system, I don't know a lot of other companies that would answer the phone for that.
We're going to test that tonight. Everybody text.
Yeah.
Grant.
Yeah, Grant. Yeah. Me and Angel go to bed early.
That's Grant. Just to clarify. Not the group text,
That's
just
right.
the Grant text. All right.
That's right.
No, that's pretty cool. So did you guys have a lot of clients asking you about that? Because just to clarify, you guys are like a supply house anyway. So I'm assuming over the past few years, people are like, man, when are you going to get into the landscape lighting distribution, right?
Certain people were looking for other things to do. They grew so much with Christmas that they might have quit their other job, and they did so well with Christmas that they were looking for something else to fill the gap, and that's where it really blew up with these guys.
It goes both ways. We get the Christmas light guys to do the low voltage, and the low voltage guys to do Christmas.
Right.
Power washing guys to do the low voltage and the Christmas. The power, all around.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been seeing lately over the past 6 months to a year. Is people, they were like window washing or pressure washing, and then they hear about Christmas lights. They're like, oh, damn. And then they literally make as much in Christmas lights that they did all year on their other business. And then they have to hire more people. There's new problems. And they're like, man, how could I do this year round? And that's when landscape lighting, that's when people are finding about me as well. They're like, well, heck, I could do lighting year round. It's way more exciting than cleaning a window.
And I think a lot of the guys are just trying to keep their guys busy all year round. So you're not retraining guys for Christmas, retraining guys for, irrigation, retraining guys. Doing all three of those businesses or two of them, you can keep the company running.
Employee retention.
65.
Yep. No, and people tell me that if I can just keep my guys busy, I'm like, listen, I'm not okay with just keeping guys busy. We're going to make a ton of money. Okay. That's the only way to do it. We got Matt watching from Cabo. Thanks, Matt.
What's up, Matt?
International.
International.
Mr. Worldwide right here, All right. We had one question. I don't know who it's from. If you're this Facebook user, it means you're probably watching from our group. You can go to streamyard.com/Facebook and put in your name. If not, doesn't matter. And on average, how much is a holiday project?
We're on the purchase model. We don't lease. So our office is instructed when a customer calls here. They go through the whole thing, installation, takedown, storage. First year you purchase the product. We start with a budget first year between $3,000 and $10,000. Anything less than that really isn't for us. So I would say 3,000 to 10,000, especially now.
It depends on the area.
Yeah.
It's more like, we're in a very dense demographic with a higher cost of living than a lot of other places in the country. We're talking to people down south that their average job is closer to $900. It just depends on where you are, really, when you get that question. But I'd say here, the average cost is around $3,000 first year.
Yep. Well, it's just like anything else. Like even in landscape lighting, there's people that it's like they didn't know that they could do those bigger jobs. They needed permission from somebody, so they're doing the $500 jobs, $1,000, whatever. Same with Christmas lights. As soon as someone finds out that the potential's there, I could actually do a $5,000, a $10,000, $15,000 job, and then it's like, yeah, you can. Okay, and then they get the permission and they go sell one. But for years, they're just thinking, no, I can only do not my market. People won't pay more than $500 or $1,000. I'm sure you guys hear that all the time.
You'd be surprised. They'll nickel and dime you over a $45 lawn maintenance, but $10,000 for Christmas lights. Okay, here's my credit card.
Yeah.
Especially here in Long Island, like Grant said, it's so dense. So a guy gets into a neighborhood and it's copy thy neighbor here on Long Island. So a guy will go in and do one house and end up doing 10, 15 houses in that neighborhood,
Gotcha. So, Angelo, how did you get into the industry?
I actually came out of college with a landscape design degree. And I started working for Site One. Actually, it was Bissett Nursery back then. I worked for Site One for 16 years. Me and Mike were talking, and I ended up here. I decorated my house. He told me that he does Christmas lights, and pretty much how he left, I laughed at him. And here I am 4 years later, and like my bio says, I decorate every holiday now. Me and Grant tested it out. You can see my house from an airplane coming down over near my house every holiday.
That's awesome. And that you tested that out, you said?
Oh, yeah. We tested it last flight. We tried for 3 flights, and we finally seen it.
We're flying back to Texas, and I'm like, what's that green bulb over there? And Angelo's like, that's my house. And we're like, really?
Awesome. So what's like the second biggest holiday? You got Christmas, Hanukkah.
I say Valentine's. It would probably be a bigger one, and Halloween.
Halloween.
And are people are they doing RGB, or are they going out and swapping out C9s? What do you see people doing?
Until recently, we really didn't have the option, of a quality RGB C9. So hopefully it's available this year. So we'll see.
User friendly.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys, it's a win-lose. And we have this conversation with people all the time. Same thing like, do you lease lights or do you sell lights? It's an added sale. If you get the RGB up front, it's easier in the long run. But you're not getting that extra labor cost every season to change the lights out, from blue to green to red, and 4th of July, red, white, and blue. If you can go to a customer's house and unscrew and screw bulbs for 4 hours, you could charge a lot more than if you go there and go click. So
I guess kind of along those lines, one, why do you guys do the sell model versus the lease model?
When I first started here, that's the model we followed. So we stuck with, I don't think you could do both. I think it has to be one or the other. And it worked for us, so we just continued along with it.
I try and teach people the sell model just because it's what we know best here. You know, the whole time I've been in the industry, we've been selling. So if I want to try and answer people's questions, you know, I know how to sell better than I know how to lease. And we've talked to a lot of leasing guys, and we've had the conversation back and forth of what's the better one. And we've really come to the conclusion there is no better one. It's just, you know, how you want to set up your business and structure your business.
Right. So when you guys do the sell model, are people signing a contract more than 1 year, or it's just that first year?
1 year.
1 year, but it'll also tell what the price is going to be for the following year. So we break it down: installation, takedown, storage, and material.
And what percentage of people are hiring you that following year?
Oh, 95%.
Yeah.
We have a pretty high rate of return.
Customer feels, you know, warm and fuzzy too when they own the material, you know, opposed to, you know, the leasing model.
And then we store probably 95% of our customers' material, and it's hard for them to break up with you. It's like having that girlfriend. You know, if you have your stuff at the house, it's hard to break up because you don't want to lose your stuff, or it's just awkward going to pick it up.
Can I come get my sweats?
Yeah. You know, if you have their stuff, it's first of all, one, it's hard for them to get a price from somebody else because the other guy has no idea what they have. And then there's that awkward thing: can you drop my stuff off? Can I come pick it up? At that point, they're like, we'll just use them another year. And then it's another year and another year and another year. So we try to push the storage.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I don't think there is a right or wrong either. I think, you know, I see a lot of similarities in things that I did with landscape lighting and Christmas lights. We actually sold as well. We didn't lease. But I wasn't going to trainings, conventions. I didn't even know, I didn't do half the stuff I should have done. And so I didn't even know what other models looked like. But I would say the key thing is whatever you're doing, make that your competitive advantage. So if you're selling, then you bring up this points like this. It's like, yeah, you own your lights, you know, and you can sell against the leasing model. And if you're leasing, you could sell against the selling model. You know what I mean? So there's pros and cons. You just got to write down what those are and make sure you're bringing those up to make sure you're bringing up your competitive advantage for your company.
Probably the number one question we're asked at trade shows and conventions. I mean, this question's asked a lot.
Yeah. And what do you guys see most people doing? Are they leasing?
In our area, I see most people selling just because that's what everyone else in the area does. You know, there's over 200 contractors in the area that we sell to directly, and that doesn't include the ones that we don't sell to. So if most of those contractors are selling, because that's how we taught them to set it up, you know, if you go in there with a bid to lease it, the customer is just going to be confused because if you get, let's say, 4 estimates and 3 of the 4 is to sell, you know, the one lease one kind of gets bumped, in my opinion. But we know people in the area that lease lights, and they do very well with it.
Yep.
They have big companies leasing lights, but
just got to take the bull and run with it.
Gotcha. It's a good question from a follow-up question from Nolan. What's the rate percentage difference for your guys' sell model? I mean, what is the discount that you offer for that following year?
It's all based on formula. So we have a formula that tells us, you know, how much per C9 for an install, you know, the takedown, storage portion of it. So it varies depending on what the job is.
So we break it down on that estimate sheet, you know, an install cost, takedown, storage, and material cost. Basically, your second year, you're just dropping that material cost. Your install, takedown, storage doesn't get discounted at all because you already own the material.
What do you guys recommend people charge per foot on a C9 roof line?
It's it's $1 million question. You know, you get some guys, we're $7. There's guys that are $3. I think we're like $4.50.
Not including material.
Yeah, not including material.
And that's just install, takedown's a separate charge, and storage is a separate charge.
I saw that it changed a lot last year as the year went on, with C9s, you know, being harder to get as, you know, the season went on. Guys were increasing their price. I mean, I heard guys putting up at $15 a foot.
Yeah. And they were selling jobs at $15
Yeah,
a foot.
all day. I mean, I heard jobs getting sold, you know, December 20th at $15 a foot.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, they should be, you know, at that time.
But those are the ones that don't resign with you next year when you go to give them that reinstall price.
That's another good point.
Well, you can discount it to 14 a foot.
Yeah.
The economy got better.
And add a 13% fuel surcharge on it.
Add a fuel surcharge onto it.
So what types of new products? You guys mentioned RGB. What are some like newer products that have come out or are coming out in the last couple of years that people should be excited about?
I'm excited for the dynamic RGB C9 bulbs. You know, you'd be able to use the remote control for them. You do 100 of them in a row. Simple remote. You know, a lot of these other programs are just too difficult for everybody. And it's just
This is with the RF remote, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure you will see it at all.
And when you change it, does it change the whole strand?
Yeah, so it has a couple different effects. It's very similar to all their other RGB products. It changes the whole strand, different solid colors, and then you could also add effects into it: flash white, flash out, chase, and there's a couple of different effects that are in it. But you're changing the whole strand.
It's very user friendly. You got to remember, a lot of these guys will have 20 guys working for them, and not always is the owner on the job. You know, you want something that's simple for the guys to install. You know, sometimes simple is better. Especially like for us. I mean, we have seasoned guys, you know, on our install crews, but to me, why go sell a difficult job when you can sell 3 easy ones for these guys?
And does it do? I saw the demo of it, but now I'm trying to remember, because when I saw the demo, I was like, all right, take my money. Like, I'm just gonna do it for. I mean, I don't have an install business right now, but for my own house, I'll switch out. I just have all the warm whites. No, I do warm white red, but can I go every other, or is it just change the whole strand?
So the only other thing you could do with it is add a flashing white to it. So it's a solid color, and then you add a flash white. You can't do like red and blue in the same set. If you ran different wires, and then you could do one in red and one in blue. But right now, it's just you change the whole set to a solid color, and then you could add either a white flash or a flash out, which just makes the bulb twinkle.
I mean, we used the mini lights the last 2 years, and
the wreaths and garland,
very simple
products they have.
Another question: can you custom cut those lights?
Yeah,
you can. So it's C9 regular screw and bulb, and this is regular C9 wire, and we put a female on that end, and then on the other end it's just a regular metal plug on it. Hold on, gotta get in the screen. Regular metal plug, and it plugs into this.
Yeah, it's just a regular, so you can retrofit your existing jobs with
correct.
RGB bulb. You don't even have to do new wire.
Nope.
Yeah, that's way cool. Anything else? I mean, you see guys making money off of just spritzers, ground lights, ornamental decor, anything like that?
The ornamental decor has taken off in the last couple of years. We've moved from a half a trailer to almost 2 containers now of resin and fiberglass. What? It's more than that now. Yeah, it's a lot. The resin has definitely picked up, especially around here. People like having the whole scene on their front lawn of Santa and the reindeers and whatnot.
We try and change it up every year because a lot of the clients that are buying that stuff are the same clients over and over again. So every year we'll change out some of the products in our catalog. We'll always have a nutcracker, a snowman, your basic pieces, but it might be different. That way, if someone really likes elves, they won't have the option to buy the same elf every year. They could do a different elf every year until they have the whole collection of elves. Like the 3 of
all
us.
36 of them.
yeah.
Well, I think it's good to bring up, because I think, again, most of us, we tend to spend with our own wallet. So when someone agrees to $3,000, we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just agreed to $3,000. And we think that was all, like, that was it. We did it. That was the goal. But as you guys know, every year they're like, we already spent $3,000. What's another $1,000? What's another $2,000? Like they're always going to want more. They're always going to want it to look different and better. So those ornamental things, if you don't show your clients what the possibilities are, they're not going to come ask you, like, how can I spend an extra $5,000? Do you guys have anything for me? Like, you have to show them what the possibilities are. And then they're like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm rich.
And some of the stuff you need to, see. So we have all the resin and fiberglass stuff in the showroom so people can come and see it. And we allow our wholesale customers to bring their customers here. We make sure that nothing's priced, so they can come in and see it. Some of the stuff is, you want to see it.
Some of it you have to. We have a big fireplace that doesn't do justice until you really see it. You can't tell with pictures.
Gotcha. So what are some of the popular ones that people are liking?
Whatever we don't have.
Drumming nutcrackers.
Whatever we order 2 of, that's the most popular thing.
Yeah.
Whatever we order 20 of, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Well, what did you order 2 of this year? What should everyone come knock your down?
The elves.
Yeah, the elves.
Yeah.
The elves and the
What are we stealing? What are we stealing from Mike's front lawn to sell this year?
Something goes off of one of our properties every year.
That's funny. I've done that with landscape lighting before. I was like, crap, I got to give them this light.
Yep. Just, we go stealing it.
All right. So I guess we haven't talked a whole lot about landscape lighting. What are your goals with that? I mean, you're doing some training. Are you going to do the same thing, Grant, where you go and help them learn on site with their crews?
We did a big training class here kind of as like a kickoff for it. So we had, I think, about 35 contractors here in April, which is
nice.
unheard of because it was a gorgeous day. And we did a quick, I don't want to say New Yorkers don't have a high attention span, but we want to get in, get out, get done. So we try and keep all of our trainings to a day or less just because, we'll hit the important points and everything else can be a phone call, a later date thing. So we did a 1-day training, morning in the classroom, afternoon install, really hit you hard with all the material you need to know really quickly. And that way you can come up with the questions. And the second day we did an open house. So anyone that had questions, you come back. Landscape lighting is going to be a little different from Christmas because Christmas I can kind of, teach you how to design the house from a picture. I don't need to necessarily go there with you and see it, take 5 pictures. I'll help you design the house real quickly, sell the job, close the job. Or if it's your own house, like let's get a material list together and get it going. Landscape lighting, I've went out a couple times and walked properties with new customers, went out and we have a cool demo kit. It's all battery powered demo kit, all RGB bulbs. I've went out with customers, first couple times and said, okay, let's go to this customer's house. I'm going to teach you how to do a demo kit while you're selling the job to the customer. So we've done some of that. And then I've went and done, hands-on installs with people too, where they sold the job, they closed it. I went and looked at it with them. Okay, let's get a material list and let's go do the job. So it really varies on, their confidence level. Distance, of course, is a big thing. I don't want to, I'd love to travel to Florida to do an install. I don't think.
But you're not.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
If you have one in Utah coming up, I'd love to make it out to Utah to do a training. So anyone out there, hit me up for that. But
Mike didn't say no to that one.
It's all a case-by-case basis, really. If you get it, some people with Christmas, I don't even need to go out with them. I could take you into our showroom, show you how everything works with the couple of roof lines we have, the gutter line we have in there. And the customer just takes it and runs with it. You get some questions here and there. And landscape lighting is the same thing. Some people, you could show them in the showroom, okay, here's our mock house. This is how you put a pathway in. This is how you do spots. This is a transformer. This is how you hook it up. And they just get it and they go and they don't have any questions.
And that hand holding, really helps, with making the customer feel comfortable with us instead of, like Mike said, the big box stores. People are tired of that. You get in, they push you out. It's about a number to them. To us, it's about the customer. Not that the numbers aren't important, but it's, we care about the customers.
Care about the customers, the numbers just come with it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Lead with value first and everything else takes care of itself.
Good. That's good. I like that.
So really, it's a case-by-case basis when it comes to landscape lighting. There's no set thing. And it's the same thing with Christmas and anything, The houses are different. We have a guy that's done a couple installs now, and he's like, hey, I need your help. I've got this huge job pending. Can you come walk it with me? And I'm like, let's go right now. Let's go head out to that job. Let's go walk it. Let's see what you need. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm going to do my input on it, and let's get it put together for you.
What's been your guys' experience with the demo kit? Because you guys are newer into the industry too.
We've been sold out of the demo kits. Every time they get in the door, they go out just as quickly. And the closing rate that we've heard about with them has been pretty high. As long as you're hitting the right customers and, you pre-approve them and make sure they want to spend what you need to charge, the closing rate's been pretty high with that. That's what I've seen.
Especially when you throw RGB bulbs into the demo kit, it really sells the job.
People don't know what they're missing until they know what they could have. You go to a house, you set up a demo kit, you see the lights, you see, wow, that's what my house could look like when I come home. And then the customer's like, oh, I'll think about it. And you can do this all through an app-based program. You could turn off all the lights on your phone right then and there. And the house just goes dark. And they're like, whoa, wait a second. Let's see if we could work something out here.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the demo. Some people are like, well, that's, you're not valuing your time. But it's the same thing. It's like, I'll lead with value and everything else will take care of itself. I charge a lot of money for my designs and installs. So I'm not worried about making money. I know how to do that. And especially for a new guy, man, it's just so easy to learn design because I can tell you, like, this is when you put a light here and this is what you do here. But when they set it there and they know, okay, I like it 6 inches from the house, or I like it 15 inches from the house, whatever they like, now they're making their own designs. So I love the idea, especially for new people, is because they don't have a portfolio, they don't have pictures to show. And like you said, Grant, like, seeing is believing. You set that up for someone and then turn it off. They're like, you know what? Let's turn it back on. How much does it cost to have it stay?
And something big I've been pushing with the guys when they're doing demo kits is to bring up flags with them. We have these little flags we've been giving them to some of our new guys. And it's simply, what type of light you put there, what degree beam spread, what color is it, and they've been flagging it because it helps them learn. All right, if I put it too close, it makes a hot spot. If I put it too far away, it's lighting up the neighbor's house. So it's been really helping them learn too with the demo kits. Because a lot of times you're doing the install during the day. A lot of these guys are going back at night to see how they've done with it because they're not confident yet. So the demo kits are helping them learn, during the day, this is how far I need to put the light from the house because I want it to look like this.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys. I'll give you each one last moment to just share whatever you want with the world. Mike, what do you want people to know about your company, about your all-star team here? What advice do you want to give out? Let's hear it.
We're here for you, so use it. Use the training. Call us. We'll help you out. Call us now before it gets real crazy. Because after Halloween, it's hard.
What is the best way to get in touch with you guys? Is it your website? Is it your cell phones? The group text?
Pretty much text.
Yeah.
Once you get to know us, they can always call the office.
Like right now, what's your website?
LIHolidaylighting.com.
All right, LIHolidaylighting.com. Grant, what advice you want to leave?
My big thing is don't be the front runner. Just because everyone else is doing something a certain way with Christmas lights or landscape lighting, you could be that outcast person and still make a name for yourself. I've talked to a lot of people that are like, well, other people are doing this. Why shouldn't I do that? And, just because someone does it doesn't mean it's the right way to do it. So be creative, come up with new things, and don't be scared to, be the outlier, be the black sheep of the group. And you can still make money that way and be very successful being the outlier.
Love it. Love it. Angelo, what advice do you want to leave?
I don't really have any advice. I have, if I could plug us, we do have trainings, since we were talking about trainings coming up this summer. Grant, what's our date on that?
July 12th.
July 12th for our Christmas installation classes. And then we have another open house coming September 20th.
And is that for Christmas and landscape?
That is for Christmas and landscape lighting, yes.
The one in July was just holiday?
Holiday, yes.
And if you can't make either of those, we're always here. Again, we're personable.
We're
Give us a heads
one-on-one.
up. Hey,
Mike will do a Zoom, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mike will make it.
Over Zoom.
Do a
Yeah, over
Zoom.
Zoom.
No, because then I got to set it up for him. It just it gets ugly.
This is the last virtual thing you'll ever do in your life. Mike.
Yep. Exactly.
Next time I'm flying there or you're flying here.
You're going to fly here. I know somebody that wants to see you.
Oh, you're not talking about my boyfriend, are you?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I did use one of his lines today. So
Yes. You left out the part about you, though, but that's okay.
I appreciate you guys. I'm surprised how well you guys behaved. It's
not over yet.
well, I'm gonna hit the end button here, and then so impressed with you guys keeping it PG-13 for me, and you guys are awesome. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, guys. If you guys need to get in touch with them, one last time, what's your website?
LIHolidaylighting.com, and our phone number is 631-957-5106. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook.
Cool. That's awesome. And what's your Facebook group if people want to join that?
It's not a group. It's just our page.
Okay.
He's putting it up right now, I think.
Yeah, just post it in the comments.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Everyone have a good week. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to check out Emery Allen. Email tomg@emeryallen.com for 10% off your first order. Oh, there it is. All right. See you guys.
Thank you.